It's been about a month since I've posted something for the last time on this channel, and it's today is the equinox, the winter equinox, almost the end of the year, and I did not want to end the year before posting at least one video. So this is my Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays video, but it's also my end of year recap, very quick, best of, worst of, if you like. Video. I'll just say that like the one hit I had and the one main failure I had in this year. And I will also be telling you about what I'm planning to do on this channel for the year 2026 because there are some well, I've been pretty absent this year. I didn't have a big year. I do plan to be a lot more regular for next year, so I'll explain all of that and maybe a little bit of the ethical, philosophical reasons that are driving a bit what I'm doing. So, but without further ado, hi, my name is Christian Malte, lover of science fiction and all these things. I've seen right now almost 1,300. I finished counting. The first I finished counting the actual number of science fiction movies that existed. I'll probably do another video just on that, but it's on Letterboxd. I'll put the link in the description. And as of today, there are something around a little bit more than 16,000 feature length science fiction movies in existence, a bit more, a bit less. I counted any movie over 40 minutes as feature length, which is a little bit generous if you like, but yeah, and I've seen of those about 1,299 actually, so I'm one short of attaining the big 1,300. And as you can hear, I have a cold, but as I said, I wanted to make sure to make a video to say hi and say happy holidays and to tell you what's up. So, what's up? Well, what was the big success of the this channel for 2025, or a little year in review in 2 minutes or less? Well, I had this one video which was like seven Lovecraft adaptations that actually feel like Lovecraft. And that one, for my, on my scale, that one really blew up. And I was never sure why. Well, Lovecraft, is popular, but for some reason, like 6 months after I had put it online, like a few months after it was already, available, and there were maybe like 300 or 400 views or something like that. It started blowing up, and I ended up with over 40,000 views. So that was really cool. But and whenever YouTube, like on YouTube, they give you this advice that when you have a big hit, you should really hit on that nail as soon as you can. You found your niche at last. You're the Lovecraft guy. Well, that's cool because I like Lovecraft, right? So, but so I did. I did what I was supposed to do, and I did another video which was close but not the same thing, and which was what seven. It was another seven Lovecraft adaptations, but not, I think, written by Lovecraft this time. And nobody watched it, essentially. Like 300, 800 people, I think, watched it. So, so much for YouTube advice. But still, I was pretty glad. And so that was the big success of the channel. And the big failure, well, it's a bit of a big topic of this video actually, is I was gone for most of the year. I was on and off, and I have also a French channel which is on its third year. And in the first year of the French channel, I put out systematically a video every week on Mondays usually. Never went more than 7 days without posting a video. And no matter what I said about the YouTube advice, at least back then, 3 years ago, YouTube certainly rewarded you for that. I mean, it ends up making a difference, but for many reasons, I couldn't, keep that momentum this year. I wanted to, but too many things happened. And the short version why is because real life happened. Like for many of you, I'm sure this year was pretty rough. and won't go into any details, but it was, yeah, it was not that easy. I had to move. In fact, I had to move again a couple of weeks ago, and usually that's because there's a lot of stress, and so that doesn't help. And but there are many factors like that, and the YouTube thing, like the uncertainty of YouTube itself as a platform, as a medium, really became like a problem eventually, like a moral problem. Not in the sense that it's morally indefensible to be on YouTube. I don't believe that, but in the sense that YouTube is really fighting. I mean, it's not on your side. No matter what people say, it's you really do get the sense, both as a user, which I am, as someone who watches a lot of YouTube videos, and as a creator, you get the sense eventually that YouTube is really aggressively hostile to your best interests. So that's the true feeling I get. I mean, doesn't care at all, and it says things that are patently untrue or don't work, and gives advice that is no help at all, and makes you jump through hoops for for the simplest things, and there's no support, and and so on and so on and so on. And there started being all these reports of people getting their channels shut down, and for because AI flagged it for arbitrary reasons. And I'm sure some of those were good reasons. Statistically, some of those people who got their channel terminated were I'm sure they had some nefarious activities going on, but not all of them. I mean, yeah, it's just to there's obviously something not right here, and it's basically the whole enchetification phenomenon, which Cory Doctorow has talked about pretty brilliantly, I might add. So all these things and the general state of the world in general, well, I have to admit that it started really, 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 really bearing down on me and feeling very heavy. And there were other issues. So all these things happened that really made it difficult for me to be on YouTube, and really made me question, okay, what I want to be here, but what am I doing? And there was an interesting, almost existential aspect to it, because my intuition told me to do YouTube. Like basically, like my heart was telling me, do YouTube videos. Like this is part of what you do, okay? But when you have an intuition like that, it's kind of like when your intuition is telling you to play music, for instance, which it does. I mean, I play music for real, so but and when you have something like for music, for instance, when you have the urge to play music, but automatically your mind tells you, yeah, but how will you be paying your rent, right? And also yeah, you want to be a musician, but you should be like a big time musician. You should behave like this, and starts looking for patterns of success, if you like. And so, Taylor Swift, like, why should I be like Taylor Swift? And sounds a little bit absurd. You find yourself eventually. It's very easy to get sidetracked, actually, and there's a lot of trial and error involved in discovering what you're actually trying to achieve and what are your priorities. And got a short story short, a long story short, and then I'll move on to the plans for 2026. Uh, it ended up that I revealed myself to be a writer. Essentially, I came to the conclusion this year that that was the missing part in my whole equation. So the main activity I should be doing is writing. So that was one thing. But then in terms of the logistics, how do I actually do that? How many hours a day? And there's a lot of questions like that. And the YouTube After Effect is that I definitely want to be more present. In fact, I plan to be, once, at minimum once a week on YouTube, which I wanted to be for 2025, but there was something missing. And I do want to do that, and I do intend to do that, but I think I might almost say like the intention is more pure because I don't think. I mean, I don't. Do I want millions of views and tens of thousands of dollars of ad revenue every month? Yeah, sure, I'll take it. But I don't intend to do anything really to strive towards that because I don't believe in it. Like there's this one guy I follow. There are a couple of people on YouTube I like a lot, and one of them is it Michael? Like in Deep Geek. You many of you probably know him because he has a huge channel, but he talks about Game of Thrones and you know um, Lord of the Rings and other geeky stuff and so forth, and and yeah, he just talks about it and he's very cool and he's very erudite on these topics and he says smart things and very and but he's just talking to the camera with a very simple background, a green screen, and he just does it and he has like 1 million subscribers or not very far from that. And so that's basically the model. That's basically what I'll be doing. I'll be talking like I'm talking now. I'll be as real as I can be, which is always what you're trying to do. But I'll be like the purest version of myself in that sense, right? Like I'm just this guy talking from the heart and trying to be as smart as I can, as sincere as I can, as I talk to you about these movies, and also the questions, the like philosophical questions they raise, which I'll be explaining a little bit, but quickly because this is a short video. So yeah, so what are the plans for 2026? Well, as I said, I want to make one video a week on a movie. And basically all the videos I'll be talking about here are essentially unedited uh, videos, podcast-like videos, because one of the problems I had was that, as you know, editing takes forever and a day, and I don't have that time, especially now with the writing, and I want to get back. I did basically no music this year, and I want to create music, right? Also, so there's no time for the editing. There's just one thing has to give, and it's super long, and most people don't care, and a lot of the editing on YouTube is pretty annoying. Actually, I find so I'll try to keep my yapping to a minimum. I'll try to stay on focus as much as I can, and but I don't. There will my intention is to make videos with no editing at all, just because it's the only. I try to find other solutions, but yeah, 20-minute video takes a whole day to edit. Essentially, I just don't have the time. But with practice, I do think I tend to ramble a little bit less. So I'll be making 10, 20, bit more, bit less minute videos on mainly obscure movies, like very niche movies, because this is what people seem to be responding to the most. That and the Lovecraft stuff, and I'm fine with that. Actually, I'm more than fine. I think that's what I prefer. So, yeah. So I intend to make a video shortly on Hourglass Sanitarium. In fact, I wanted to make it like this week, but I was sick, as you can hear, so I couldn't make it. But that sort of thing, like Hungarian movies, and I want to make a video on The Man Who Thought Life, which is basically a Swedish. It feels a very Bergman. It's very close to Persona actually, but it's like a mind power video movie, and I was very, very, very pleasantly surprised by that film from the 1960s, 70s. Anyway, stuff like that, like stuff that that I discovered because I watched so many of these movies, but which many people don't talk about. So that'll be it. Some classics also. Like I watched 4D Man recently, and the first half wasn't very good, but the second half was actually really, really excellent. So American movies, I don't mind. It's all good to me as long as the movie is cool. I saw Children of the Damned recently, like the sequel, reboot, remake. Of Village of the Damned from the 60s. So Children of the Damned is was shot a couple of years later. I think it's a Hammer film. Not sure, but that one really, really surprised me. It was really fantastic as well. So anything that is unheralded, anything that is a little bit talked less about in the science fiction movies, but that really warrants getting discovered or rediscovered, or even like drop dead classics like Fantastic Voyage. I rewatched that recently. That movie is underrated and everybody loves it, and but even the amount of love that people praise and like throw on that film is less than it deserves. That is a true masterpiece. So yeah, so that's generally the gamut. So I want to make one a week, hopefully help you discover films, and or make you excited if you actually if you actually saw these movies already. I also want to make I want to continue making the list movies, which like the top seven, for instance, the top seven Lovecraftian movies because I enjoy them. So for those movies, also what took a long time and which made me hesitate is the editing and looking for the pictures, like the illustrations, like the so. But yeah, I'll keep on making them. I'll ramble on as long as I feel is warranted for those lists, but I'll keep the editing to a very strict minimum, maybe none at all. And the last main item of content I intend to add to this channel, it's something. I mean, I'm. It's the philosophical aspect. Okay, and I've already started doing some of that, and this is something that is very near to my heart, near and dear. So I'm a self-taught philosopher, essentially. I had a few classes, at university, but I learned philosophy by reading philosophy, and I've had a lifelong, fascination for Heidegger, for instance, but I never understood it. Right, it took me like years and years to start trying to start having an idea of what he's going on about. And but the idea is that recently, like in the last year in particular, I started reading like a lot of philosophy and very assiduously, and I figured out a way to use science fiction to explore philosophy in a way that is interesting and worthwhile, even for a neophyte, even for somebody who is not a university student. And so, because my main expertise is science fiction movies, and the fact is, it's a really excellent way to explore these ideas. And I spent a lot of time this year. Building like intellectual tools, like frameworks, essentially. There's two frameworks I built to help me, analyze intellectual problems and political problems. So my intention with the essay videos are, which will still be me talking to the camera for an hour, 2 hours, or something like that. Again, more in a podcast conversational tone than a pre-written tone, because again, for time reasons, but there'll be research involved. That's for sure. And one of the main goals is to help you illustrate, like show you these tools which I built, because I think they're very useful. They were very useful to me to help me understand So the big issues we have right now, like collectively, like, and why are we so confused, and why is there so much conflict, and why does it feel like everything is falling apart and everybody's going crazy, something like that. So so yeah, you'll see, but I'm pretty excited about that. So excited and a little weary because it's a big project. But as I mentioned again, science fiction is really fantastic for to illustrate and to explain what I will be trying to explain through that those frameworks, and the framework I'm talking about actually ex- helped me to understand why science fiction was such a perfect way to explain our social problems, our political problems, and so forth. So yeah, so that'll be I'll be channeling my inner, Cory Doctorow or Zizek, if you like. So something like that, right? So that's one of the guidelines, one of the guiding lights I'll be following. And so you might see, for instance, I'm planning videos on for the French channel, but I'll probably do it here as well, like for on Plato's Republic and, for instance, the regimes in Dune, right, or any other science fiction or fantasy, franchise, if you like, or Lord of the Rings and so forth. So, and how does that compare with Aristotle? And so there's a lot of very, very, very exciting, very fun stuff. And I found that, again, working through these models and these texts throughout the year, with the help of science fiction, notably, really helped me, raise the cloud of confusion, at least on some of the ideas which I was trying to express and trying to figure out. And so, yeah, so that's what I'll be doing. And the last thing I'll say here is that, yeah, I do this because I want to do this ultimately. And, you know, I've started a Substack, I have a Patreon, all these things, I'm on Letterboxd, as I said. And all these things because I want to do them, and all these things because I want to have a platform if YouTube destroys my channel because it's doing so arbitrarily for so many people. But what I'm getting at here is that times are hard, incredibly hard. Like, Sauron is winning hard, like Morgoth is taking over the earth hard. But we are called upon to be the best version of ourselves and to let our hearts and intuitions guide us, And even if it's through talking about geeky movies or writing songs or whatever, I mean, that is what we are called to do. And it doesn't have to be just one thing. In fact, certainly in my case, it's a million things. And that doesn't make planning your day any easier. But whatever it is that you feel drawn to do right now, do that. And do it with the most heart and sincerity you can find, because that's the way we'll make it through. Because tough times have started, but even tougher times are ahead. And I'm not sure how long it's going to last, but we haven't seen the worst yet. And I say it because it's true, and I say it because we have to acknowledge it, I think. But also because once you recognize just how deep in the hole you are, you can figure out, you can start climbing out, um, and my feeling is that, we're in a lot of trouble, but each one of us has a part of the solution inside, and as long as we, follow our hearts, we'll be fine. So yeah, that was my little message. So do take care of yourself and have a Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. And again, for 2026, I strongly, strongly, strongly intend to have at least one video a week, or those movie videos. But don't despair. Today is the equinox, so the longest night of the year, and I'm not sure if we're at the longest night of our collective year as a species, but it's pretty close to that. But after that, the days will start to get longer, and we'll make it through. And with a little help from our friends and from science fiction, which we love so much. So take care, and if you're alone on Christmas, well, somebody out there loves you. And hang in there, take care. Life is good, and keep watching the skies. Take care. Thanks for being here, by the way. Thank you so much for being here. So, see you soon.